Hi, today's Thursday, September 25th. We're here at the Ontario Police Memorial, about to kick off the 10th anniversary of the National Peace Officers Memorial Run.
You can follow us on Twitter at 460KM. We also have a Facebook page as well under 460KM, and we're on Instagram at 460KM. Pretty easy, all three sites. You can follow us throughout the run. We're going to be posting pictures and videos as we're going through up until Ottawa.
I'm Neil Orr, retired York Regional Police Officer. Been associated with the Ride to Remember for 4 years now. I missed the first year. I was introduced to the ride by our York riders, of which there's 30 this year. And the year I was initiated into the ride was the year that we lost Garrett Stiles. And it was an inspirational decision on most of the York riders' parts to get involved. My first year, within the first 10 kilometers, I appreciated that it wasn't just about our people, it was about the history of policing in the country and law enforcement in the country. And the longer you ride and the more you ride and the more you talk with fellow officers, the more you appreciate that the solidarity of a group of law enforcement officers riding for a single cause is worth it. All the aches and pains and fatigue along the way disappears in the last 2 kilometers in Ottawa, the last kilometer up towards Parliament Hill, and turning the corner to see the families of fallen officers appreciating the effort and the sacrifice we put into it. An emotional end to a ride, but a very uplifting and a very passionate cause for all of us, and just proud and happy to be part of it.
Good morning. My name is John Ling. I'm a sergeant with the Toronto Police Service. I've been here into my 27th year, and we're here at the National Peace Officers Memorial Run. It is the 10th anniversary. I've been participating for the last 6 years, and I've organized 60 runners that are representing Toronto. This year we are honoring John Zivchik, who died in a car accident last December. Also, we are honoring all the police officers that have died in the line of duty for Toronto. I'm wearing Michael Sweet's armband, and that's from 1980. We are here to bring awareness to all the memorials throughout the country and support the families of the officers that have died in the line of duty.
Good morning, I'm Captain David Eckerman. I'm with the Toronto Fire Service Information Section. I was called out here today through our chain of command to bring the Canadian flag out and raise it for your fundraising event that's taking place today. It's always an honor for firefighters to help out the police service in any way. I know we work hand in hand on the streets of Toronto, and we always appreciate the help the police service provides us at our calls, and I hope the reciprocal is true. On this day, we called out 2 aerial trucks to raise the Canadian flag. This draws attention to the event. It gives it a feel of importance and national pride, in fact, as we are public servants.
My name is David Connors. I'm a corporal with the Royal Canadian Armed Police, participating in the National Peace Officers Memorial Run. This is my first year with the run itself, and for myself, I'm running for the 3 constables, Gavoden, Larsh, and Ross, who lost their lives this year in Moncton, New Brunswick.
I'm Inspector Gina Rosa from Ottawa Police Service. We've got a team of 12 members that come to Toronto every year to run this, back to Toronto where we host the closing ceremonies on Parliament Hill. We started this in the 2nd year we joined. As the Peel runners ran into Ottawa, we realized we'd like to be a part of this. We've lost an officer in Toronto in the last 10 years. We lost Eric, and we run for Eric, but we run for all peace officers who have lost their lives in the line of duty.
How you doing? Every year, police officers from across Canada gather in Ottawa to remember those who have given their lives in the service of their communities. For the past 10 years, the Law Enforcement Run to Remember has involved officers from all across Ontario who run to Ottawa and run through communities right across this great province to remind the people of our province the service and the sacrifice, that tradition and legacy of sacrifice that so many have made on behalf of their communities. today's kind of a special day because it is the 10th anniversary, and this year's memorial is particularly touching for the Toronto Police Service as we remember John Zivchek, who lost his life in the service of the people of Toronto.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here with us this beautiful sunny morning. I'm Acting Staff Sergeant Matt Small of Peel Regional Police. Welcome to the kickoff of the 10th Annual National Peace Officers Memorial Run. We will start things off with the singing of the Canadian National Anthem by Constable Corey Butler from the Toronto Police Service.
Color party, all time, challenge. Carry color. To the colors. General salute, present arms.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all our sons' command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Color arms.
Thank you very much, Corey. Today marks the 10th anniversary of the Run to Remember. Last year, we started with just over 250 members from law enforcement and correctional services agencies from across Ontario. I'm extremely proud to say that we now have reached 300 runners. By comparison, this run started with just 24 runners 10 years ago, making the trip to Ottawa. They say there is strength in numbers. Well, we are 10 years strong. The National Peace Officers Memorial Run Committee would like to take this opportunity to thank its members and volunteers for their endless work on making the run what it is today. Joining their Canadian brothers and sisters in law enforcement and correctional services are Sergeant Lonnie Clausen and Officers Leslie Baker and Chuck McLemore from the Philadelphia Police Department, USA. I'd like to give them a warm welcome. The day after our arrival in Ottawa, we will participate in the Canadian Police and Peace Officers Memorial Service on Parliament Hill. I would now like to call on the Honourable Yazir Naqvi, Minister of Community Safety and Correctional Services, to start our speeches.
Good morning, everyone. What an exciting morning to be at. Beautiful day. It's a great honor for me to be here at the kickoff of the 10th anniversary National Peace Officers Run to Remember. Now, I gotta confess, I'm really sad that I'm not running with you. Not the entire 460 kilometers of it, though some are trying, Randy's trying to convince me to do that next year. But I was hoping to do the first 5K with you because I will be joining you on Saturday as you come into Ottawa. Ottawa is my hometown, and the race ends in my riding of Ottawa Centre, so you will see me in the same blue shirt as you are wearing right now, running along with our Chief of Ottawa Police, Chuck Borlow, in helping you in the race. But just wanted to be here and thank you on behalf of our Premier, Kathleen Wynne, the Ontario government, and all the MPPs from all political parties for service that you provide day in and day out in our communities. All peace officers, police officers, probation and parole officers, correctional officers, and many others work very hard to make sure that we get to rest and feel safe in our communities. And this Run to Remember is, of course, a great tribute that started 10 years ago. And thanks, Randy and Peel officers, for your leadership in that, in remembering all officers who have sacrificed their lives for our safety. So thank you very much for participating. It's incredible to see 300 strong contingent running from Toronto to Ottawa, and I very much look forward to seeing you all in Ottawa on Saturday as we finish the run, the 10th anniversary run, and make sure that we remember the women and men who've sacrificed and worked very hard on our behalf in our community. So once again, thank you very much, and have a safe run to Ottawa.
Thank you, Minister Naqvi, for taking time out of your schedule to join us here today. We look forward to seeing you in Ottawa on Saturday for the last leg of the run onto Parliament Hill. I'm now going to call on Staff Superintendent Randy Patrick, Peel Regional Police, and Chair of the National Peace Officers Memorial Committee to say a few words.
Thank you, Constable Small. I just wanted to, before I started here, I just wanted to thank the Minister for coming here this morning. He has a very busy schedule, and I know he has to catch a flight, and he's probably going to slip away here. So we appreciate him taking the time from his busy schedule to come here this morning. Thank you. So good morning, and welcome to the kickoff to the 10th Annual National Peace Officers Memorial Run to Remember. On behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to thank all of you for attending here today. Special thanks to all of our distinguished guests who have taken time out from their busy schedules to participate in this morning's event. This is a very special year for us as we celebrate our 10th anniversary run. So, I didn't want to bore you, but I thought it would be a good idea to give you a little bit of history about how the run began. And I remember it very well, because it was a very cold, snowy day in January of 2005, and I was working out of our 12 division. And as I gazed out my window, I was trying to find some motivation to go out for a run that day. And I know the chief's here, but I'm going to confess to this. It was probably a little bit of a slow day, and I drifted off. The good thing about that was that I had a bit of a dream, and a vision. And a reason to run had come to me. So I immediately went to my computer and I sent out an email to the other runners in the Peel Pacers, our running team. In that email, I suggested a run from the Ontario Police Memorial here at this site to the Police and Peace Officers Memorial in Ottawa. The idea was that we could bring awareness to the annual Canadian Police and Peace Officers Memorial Service held each year in Ottawa on the last Sunday in September. We would run to remember our fallen heroes. Well, the response to my email was overwhelming as fellow runners from Peel showed their support and began volunteering their time to plan and conduct the first run. And special thanks to my friend Johnny Walker, who Easter weekend in 2005, we actually drove the route, mapped out the route, looking for landmarks, etc., for approximately 10-kilometer legs. Some of the original group of 24 runners that completed that first run are here with us today, standing behind this banner, just as they did in 2005. The crowd wasn't as big that year. Many of them, like myself, have been here for all 10 runs. Maybe just raise your hand, anyone who's been here for all 10 years. Well, as you know, anyone can have a dream, but to make that dream a reality, you need to find other people that believe in the dream, believe in your vision, and that's what happened to this run. With people like Brian Smithson and Maggie Unin, I'm going to have them raise their arms over there. Because it's their commitment and passion that this run will be one of the biggest to date. So please, you just did, but join me in giving them another round of applause. I also have to thank the rest of the organizing committee, and team captains for their tireless work in planning this year's event. It is your hard work and commitment that has got us to the point where this morning we will have approximately 300 runners from 18 different organizations, including the 3 officers from Philadelphia Police, and we appreciate you coming back again this year, all participating in this 463-day Run to Remember. Many others have joined us here this morning to run a portion of the run, and many more will join us along the route, and we thank you for your support. As I stated, our main objective in 2005 was to raise awareness of the Police and Peace Officers Memorial Service, and I believe we've made significant gains in that area. Another objective of the run is to raise money for trust funds and memorials established in memory of those officers who have lost their lives in the line of duty. I'm pleased to tell you that to date, the run has donated over $158,000 to various trust funds, memorials, and other initiatives undertaken to honor our fallen brothers and sisters. And I expect that when this year finishes, we will have donated in excess of $180,000. I'm also very pleased to tell you that this year we have many members of Survivors of Law Enforcement, SOUL, who will participate once again in our entire 3-day journey. And of course, we also have other family members and loved ones of fallen officers who will run with us, including this morning's kickoff leg. Thank you to all of you for joining us here this morning. You are a true inspiration to all of us. I know that over the next 3 days, many of the runners will be looking for some additional motivation as the days and kilometers become longer and harder and they try to complete their next relay. Well, they only need to look over their shoulder, seeing all of you alongside them and knowing the suffering that you have endured and the sacrifices your families have made will be the only inspiration they will need to carry them to Ottawa. Today, you are our heroes. So I thank you for your courage and commitment, and I look forward to Saturday when you will lead us to the memorial wall on Parliament Hill. To the runners, I know each of you has various goals in mind for your runs. However, regardless of those individual goals and abilities, we must be reminded of our overall objective, to reach the memorial wall on Parliament Hill together. Remember, this is not a race, but instead a journey of remembrance. Remember, there are no shoulder flashes in this group, no rank. We are united as one with a single purpose, to complete this journey of remembrance together. On the Police and Peace Officers Memorial Wall in Ottawa, you will find the words, "They are our heroes, we shall not forget them." To peace officers, these are more than just words, they are a pledge, a promise from all Canadians that we will not forget those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in service of their country. This run to Ottawa, in conjunction with the memorial service on Sunday, is our way of helping to fulfill that promise. To the families and friends of those officers who have so tragically been lost in service of this country, I can tell you this. We pledge to you that we will not forget them, their lives, and their legacies. And just as importantly, we will never forget you. As we run over the next 3 days, we will be reminded of their sacrifice and yours. So on Saturday afternoon, as we make the final approach to the memorial on Parliament Hill, as always, we will make some noise. We want those peace officers on the wall to hear us coming. We want them to know that we've not forgotten them, and we want them to know that we're looking out for and supporting their loved ones, the survivors of those tragic losses. Although we may rejoice in our accomplishment, at the same time we will reflect on the pain and sorrow that the survivors have and will continue to endure. Our tears may have dried, but our hearts will never mend. So to everyone who has joined us here this morning, and those who will join us along the route or for the memorial in Ottawa, I thank you for your commitment and for keeping that pledge, that promise to our fallen brothers and sisters. We shall never forget you. And finally, to the runners, as always, God bless, Godspeed.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. I'm a little intimidated being here with all you runners. I get most of my exercise these days jogging my memory and jumping to conclusions. Today is an extraordinary day, and as Chief of the Toronto Police Service, I am deeply honored that this run begins on this hallowed ground of remembrance, where we remember officers who have fallen in the service of their communities in the province of Ontario. And as you run from this place to an equally hallowed space on Parliament Hill, where we remember Canadian officers, and as Canadians gather to remember all of those officers who have made the sacrifice, the ultimate sacrifice in the service of their communities, you help us remember. And I just want to take this opportunity, first of all, to acknowledge the extraordinary leadership and vision of Randy Patrick. One thing we know in our business is that leadership counts. And his leadership and the team that he surrounded himself with, and the vision and the passion that they have brought to this initiative has been nothing short of extraordinary. And the success of his leadership and the leadership of his team is demonstrated by the extraordinary number of people that have joined us here today. I want to commend you for taking the time and making the effort to help Ontarians and Canadians remember those who have sacrificed for their communities. Police officers every day go out and do the thousands of things that make a difference in our community, and we place ourselves between danger and the people we are sworn to serve and protect. And tragically, members of our profession have lost their lives in that noble effort. And as you run across the province of Ontario, and as you run across communities throughout this province, your running is not only a symbol of our remembrance, but it's an important reminder to the people of Canada that we serve them, and that some of our members have sacrificed their lives in that service. I also want to acknowledge the survivors of law enforcement. We are joined here today by extraordinary people who have, in their grief and in their courage, inspired us and help us remember. And as we all run together, and as you run together, and as we gather this weekend in Ottawa, we will remember them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief Blair. I'll now ask Chief Jennifer Evans from Peel Regional Police and President of the Ontario Association of Chiefs of Police to come and say a few words.
Good morning, everyone. It is my honor to be here today, and I know, having this started in Peel, I can tell you that Randy has never spent a day sleeping or drifting off at his desk, so I want to reassure you that Peel, that would never happen in Peel. So today, all of you, 300 runners and 170 riders, begin your 460-kilometer trek to the National Peace Officers Memorial Run on Parliament Hill. You run in an act of remembrance and awareness, which unites our policing community from across the province, reminding ourselves of those officers who have made the ultimate sacrifice to your community and to their families. You run not only to demonstrate your commitment to each other, but to invite members of the public to share in their support for our fallen officers and their families. So please, as you make your way to Ottawa, try and remember the fallen officers and how they lived, because it is how they lived that makes them so memorable. On behalf of all the men and women of the Peel Regional Police, and on behalf of the Ontario Association of Chiefs of Police, I commend you for your commitment to your fellow officers and to their families. On the 10th annual Run to Remember, who would have thought, Randy, that it would get so big? Please have a safe run and ride. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Evans. Our next speaker will be Mr. Mike Abbott, President of the Ontario Police Memorial Foundation.
Good morning. On behalf of the Ontario Police Memorial Foundation, welcome. A couple of quick things. I just want to thank the ladies of Seoul off here to my left. I know we spent a lot of time together, but you're an inspiration to not only myself doing the role that I'm currently doing, but also to the 300 plus runners that are going to be taking the trek to Ottawa. So thank you again for showing up. I see Mr. Cashman, I think he's out here. Nobody has talked about 22 Division. But a shout out to all of our members from 22 Division. John Zivchik, who is on the wall behind me, is obviously going to be added to the National Wall in Ottawa on Sunday. So again, let's remember John and the other 253 fallen heroes that are engraved on the granite walls behind us. Quickly, I want you to enjoy your run, but I think more importantly, enjoy the journey. The time that you're going to spend together, the stories that you're going to exchange are going to ensure that all of our fallen heroes behind us are never forgotten. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Abbott. I believe I called Mr. Dan Oxford, and unfortunately he can't be with us here today. Last and definitely not least, this morning will be Miss Erin Ofshkowski. She's going to be speaking on behalf of SOL, Survivors of Law Enforcement Canada.
Good morning, everyone. I'm honored to be here and be a part of the 10th annual Memorial Run. As you know, I'm Erin Ofshkowski. My husband was Constable James Ofshkowski with Peel Regional Police, who was killed in line of duty 4 years ago. I'm also the founder of SOL, Survivors of Law Enforcement Canada. Because of officers like you, we do not feel alone, but remembered. With every footstep, police members like yourselves and community members honor our fallen heroes. We are all about to embark on a 460-kilometer journey, which will be filled with memories, some happy and many sad. We do this run out of respect, to remember, to keep memories alive, to pay tribute to our fallen heroes. The lives of the fallen heroes. Because not only are we doing this to remember their sacrifice, but to celebrate their service. Until we gather in Ottawa at the Canadian Peace and Peace Officers Memorial Wall on Parliament Hill, we are all in this together. Keep putting one foot in front of the other, as we do each day to rebuild our lives. Thank you and enjoy your run.
Thank you, Erin. Ladies and gentlemen, prior to us starting our run, we're going to have a small presentation. And I'd ask that my social media partner, Constable Laurie McCann from Toronto Police Service, attend the podium with me. Over the past year, the National Peace Officers Memorial Run has increased its presence on social media via Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. This is in large part to our friends, families, and followers spreading the word about our cause. On Saturday, September 13th, 2014, our Twitter account reached a milestone that we're pretty proud of. We reached 1,000 followers. The bittersweet irony is that our 1,000th follower is the daughter of the late Detective Constable Bill Hancock from the Toronto Police Service, who died in the line of duty on August 4th, 1998. Sandra Hancock was just 2 years old at the time of her father's death. Unfortunately, Sandra could not be here today, so we'll be presenting her mother, Kim Hancock, Bill's widow, with a National Peace Officers Memorial Run shirt and challenge coin to give to Sandra on behalf of the National Peace Officers Memorial Run. It was hard talking to her on Saturday, too. I'll now call on Walter Kelly from Toronto Police Service to attend the podium to wish our runners a safe journey over the next 3 days and beyond. Following Reverend Kelly will be the playing of Amazing Grace by our pipers, and then we're going to observe a minute of silence in remembrance of all law enforcement officers who have made the ultimate sacrifice in the service of their communities. Reverend Kelly.
Go party, attention!
Thank you, sir. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. But for some of us, it's harder. Dear Mom, your Father, we will pray for you a lot. We're glad you're here. And to others who are here. We can only imagine how difficult it is, but also how wonderful it is that your men are being remembered. I'm also going to be praying for the riders. I was told I shouldn't pray for the bikers, so I'll be praying for the riders. And in that prayer, I found out this morning also, some have been riding for quite a number of kilometers, and 2 have been hurt. One with a very bad shoulder injury, and another with a bad elbow injury. So let's give thanks and pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we pause before you on this very significant day, a time when a whole lot of people are remembering and are wrestling through things that are tough. We thank you, O God, that you are the God of the seasons. And this fall has begun to take over summer. We thank you that the change of seasons reminds us of your goodness and your faithfulness to your people. Some of your families are still in the winter season. And I pray, Lord, that as they have doubts and fears, in times of loneliness and feel abandoned, that you would warm their hearts and bring them through, O God, the valley of the shadow of death, where there is sunshine and joy and hope and laughter. I lift up to you this dear mother and the widows who are here and the other family members who have lost a loved one of police officers. You understand their loss, and I pray that you would comfort them. I pray, Lord, and I give you thanks for all of the police services and agencies that are represented here today, and more that will be joining us in Ottawa. I pray that you'd bless each one. I pray, O God, for the riders who are already out on the road going, that you would keep them safe. For the 2 at this point who have been injured, we pray your healing touch upon them. And help them, Lord, as I know they're probably very, very disappointed. For the many runners who are going to leave here and to be on their way to Ottawa, Lord, help them with their cramps. Help them, Lord, to have the courage that only you can give them. And I pray, O God, that you would keep them safe. And Lord, as they run, and as they talk, and as they remember, may they find new ways to give thanks for the opportunity to honor you and to serve others. I pray, O God, for the service on Sunday, that you would keep all the people who are coming from across Canada and the U.S. and wherever they're coming from, that you keep them safe, and that you keep us all safe as we return home to our families and to our work. Father, for this wonderful ceremony, we give you thanks. Help us as we think of them, not only today, but to remember them often in our thoughts and with our prayers. For I pray this in your name. Amen.
Color party, Terry, color. party to our fallen officers. Present arms.
May the Lord bless you and keep you all in his divine care until we meet again. Be blessed.
Shoulder arms.
Thank you, Reverend Kelly. I'm just going to ask our runners to again move in. Our honor guard is going to be setting up our gauntlet.
Let's just grab a car. Oh, we gotta catch up to
Good morning. Thank you. Three good ones. I'm going to put out a tweet.
From the Memorial Pavilion, and that will honor our fallen officers.
Have you seen anybody? Oh, there's Mark. I was going to say, I haven't seen any of ours. Oh, there. Just go back and
Just going to walk up to the Memorial Pavilion here.
Guys, thanks for coming. Back to our band. Guys. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Lori Kovac, mom of Jen Kovac from Guelph Police, whose end of watch date was March 14th of 2013. And I have to say it's such an inspiration, and thank you to all the runners and bikers. You really are an inspiration to the families, and there's no doubt today that you're going to put down a fallen hero. So thank you.
Thanks, Gloria. Thank you for being here.
Thanks.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. While the officers touch the plaques behind us, we are going to start our ceremony. I'm Staff Sergeant Julie Vaillant of the Ottawa Police, and I would like to welcome you all to the closing ceremonies of the 10th National Peace Officer Memorial Run and the Ride to Remember. I want to start by thanking members of the Ottawa Police and Ontario Provincial Police Pipe Band and Police Honor Guards for taking part in today's celebration as we come to the end of the 10th Annual National Police Officers Memorial Run and Ride to Remember. Today marks the 10th anniversary of the Run to Remember, and I'm extremely proud to say that the run has grown over those 10 years for 24 runners to 300. I want to thank all the runners, cyclists from the Bike to Remember, and all members of the public for joining us as we remember our fallen brothers and sisters. I would now like to introduce our distinguished guests, some of whom will be speaking to you today. Staff Superintendent Randy Patrick, Peel Regional Police, Chair of the National Peace Officers Memorial Run since its inception in 2005. Ride to Remember Deputy Chief Thomas Carriage of York Regional Police. The Honorable Yasir Naqvi, MPP, Minister of Community Safety and Correctional Services. Chief Charles Bordeleau, Ottawa Police Service. Assistant Commissioner James Malizia, Royal Canadian Mounted Police, Federal Policing Operations. Chief Brian Larkin, Waterloo Regional Police. Chief Paul Martin, Durham Regional Police. Deputy Chief Scott Burns, Durham Regional Police. Chief Eric Joliffe, York Regional Police. Deputy Chief Andrew Crawford, York Regional Police. Aaron Ochakovsky, Chair of Survivors of Law Enforcement. I would now like to call upon Staff Superintendent Randy Patrick from the Peel Regional Police, also Chair of the National Peace Officers Memorial Run since its inception in 2005, to start our speeches.
Hi, everyone. I'll keep this brief. I know it's pretty hot out there in the sun. I just wanted to give you a brief history. I know the runners have been hearing this speech since Thursday when we started in Toronto, but one more time. Back in January of 2005, this idea had come to me, a bit of a dream of raising some awareness of the Canadian Police and Peace Officers Memorial here in Ottawa. And I was trying to get some motivation to go out and run that day. It was a pretty cold, snowy day, and looking for a reason to go out and run. And the idea came to me that perhaps we could get a group of runners to run from the Ontario Police Memorial in Toronto all the way here to Ottawa, to the Hill and the Canadian Police and Peace Officers Memorial. So I had invited a few of my friends from the Peel Pacers to come out and join me. And I'd sent out an email, don't remember exactly what time, maybe 10 o'clock in the morning. And by 10:30, I'd been overwhelmed with the response. Everybody wanted to help and actually do this, which kind of put me in a spot because I'd asked. Now we had to start planning something. So anyways, over the next few months, we did plan, and 24 members of the Peel Regional Police made that first run back in September of 2005. And I just want to point out the people off to my right holding the banner are some of that group of 24 that came here back in 2005. Not sure they're all up here, so if you're out in the crowd, you can run up if you want. And most of them, including myself, have made the run all 10 years. So they deserve a really big round of applause. So as you can see here today, the run has evolved a little bit. The next year, we invited a few more organizations, and the following year, a few more. They started inviting their friends, and what you end up with is what you see here today, and that was 300 runners from 18 different police organizations running here today, and that includes 3 members of the Philadelphia Police, and I know Lonnie's out there somewhere. He's been on this run, I believe, 5 of the last 6 years. So they deserve a round of applause as well. The biggest the biggest evolution of the run occurred a few years ago when we started inviting members of survivors of law enforcement. I don't think at that time they were a formal group, but we started inviting some of the survivors, some of the family members of fallen officers to join us. And today we were led onto the hill by that group, the children, the spouses, the families, the friends. And that has become our inspiration throughout the day when the miles are getting long, the heat, the sun, etc. We just need to look over our shoulders and we see them running alongside us. And that gives you the extra kick to complete your leg. So I really want to thank all those members who not just ran over the past 3 days, because many of them did, but all those who joined us for the last portion of the run, and especially the little flag bearers today. They deserve a big round of applause. I'm just going to close off. In the last 10 years, we've donated approximately $158,000, and some of the money goes to the Canadian Police and Peace Officers Memorial. And I know by the end of the year, we'll probably have donated about $180,000. So one of the things we wanted to do was raise awareness, but we also wanted to help out by contributing to those memorials. So we've come a long way, I believe, in the last 10 years as well. I want to thank everybody who ran with us over the last 3 days. Some people, like I said, have run for 10 years, some for 9, some it was their first year. But regardless, the important thing is that you made that commitment to come out and run, and you kept that promise to those names on the wall that we will not forget you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'd like to call upon Deputy Chief Thomas Carriage of York Regional Police and member of the Ride to Remember to say a few words.
Good afternoon. And on behalf of the participants of the Ride to Remember and the chair of our team, Sergeant Sean Briggs from Niagara Regional Police, it's truly an honor and a privilege to stand before you today, to have spent the last 4 days, over 700 kilometers, with more than 100 of the most community-minded, dedicated, and disciplined police officers in this great nation of Canada. What a pride, what a privilege to paddle shoulder flash to shoulder flash with these great law enforcement officers. And we would like to thank you, the survivors of law enforcement, for allowing us the opportunity to ride on your behalf, to spend the last 4 days reflecting and paying our respects to you that go on with so much more to do, and to remember our heroes that gave so much preserving the quality of life we enjoy in this great country and ensuring that each and every one of us are safe and secure. You know, many people say the ride must be a challenge. Broken bones, dislocated shoulders, broken bikes, unforgiving hills, unrelenting headwinds, punishing pavement, hours upon hours of physical and mental preparation. None of that was a challenge. It was an opportunity to remember our heroes. They will not be forgotten. Ride to Remember participants, stand proud. Our shift has ended, and we will ride again in 2015. Your deeds have spoken. Thank you.
Thank you. I would now like to call upon the Honorable Yasir Naqvi, MPP Minister of Community Safety and Correctional Services, to say a few words.
Thank you very much. I want to just start by saying what an incredible honor and opportunity for me to join the runners right here in Ottawa, in my home community. I had the great privilege of kicking off the run on Thursday at Queen's Park, and I had promised that I will be with you. Some of you doubted, I know, given the suit I was wearing. But this was absolutely an inspiring run for me, and I will never forget it. Just to think about all of those police and peace officers who have given their lives so that we are safe, and to thank all of you, and through you, your colleagues who put their lives in the line of duty every single day so that we sleep at peace in the night. I had another special moment while I was running because I got the opportunity to think about my grandfather, who was a police officer. And this gives me an opportunity to think of him. I was very young when he passed away and never got to thank him personally ever for how he served his community as a uniformed officer. So thank you very much on behalf of our Premier Kathleen Wynne and on behalf of the entire Ontario government. Thank you for what you do every single day. It was an honor to be with you, and I look forward to being with you tomorrow as we remember all the police and peace officers in our entire country who keeps our community safe every single day. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.
I would now like to call upon Police Chief Charles Bordelot to say a few words.
Donc, merci beaucoup, Julie. Welcome on behalf of the 2,000 women and men of the Ottawa Police Service who serve this community with pride. Welcome to Ottawa. Welcome to our great city, and welcome to your nation's capital. Donc, de la part des membres du service de police d'Ottawa, bienvenue à la capitale nationale d'Ottawa. To the runners, to the cyclists, thank you. Thank you for keeping the memory alive, those who've died in the line of duty. And to the members of SOUL, members of Law Enforcement Survivors Group, we will never forget you. We never forget your families. Behind me in the walls are 851 names of members who have gone before us. Sadly, this year we're adding another 9 names. And I hope for a year that we will not add any more names. But until that day, we will continue to remember those who have died serving their communities. There's 2 members of this organization that I want to thank in particular, Randy Patrick and Sean Briggs. So I know Randy's here, but Sean, if you're down there, please come on up. When I became chief of police here in Ottawa 2.5 years ago, my hometown, I had coins minted from the office of the chief. On the front is the crest of the Ottawa Police Service. On the back, there's a blue ribbon, and you all know the blue ribbon remembers those who have served, and it has their values, honor, courage, and service. More importantly, it has a philosophy that I brought to my police service and to the members, in that everyone matters. Everybody in this community matters. Every member of our organizations matter. And I give this coin to individuals who actively demonstrate that people matter. So Randy and Sean, for your 14 years of leading the cycling, the Ride to Remember, and Randy, for your 10 years of the Run to Remember, you demonstrated year and after year that people matter, that those who serve, who have died in the line of duty matter, and the families matter. So I want to give you, on behalf of the Ottawa Police Service and its proud members, I want to honor you with this coin.
Thank you, Chief. Now I'd like to call upon Assistant Commissioner James Malizia from the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, Federal Policing Operations, to say a few words.
Bonjour tout le monde. C'est un honneur d'être ici avec vous aujourd'hui. It's a great honor for me to be here with you today. We're here at the finish line at the National Memorial where we can reflect on the sacrifices of the brave officers whose names are etched on the wall behind us and their families who've had to endure the pain of their loss, our loss. Constable Fabrice Georges Vaudin, Constable Dave Ross, and Constable Douglas James Larsh were committed to providing safety to Canadians, and their lives were tragically lost. Their families are here today, and I assure you that we will always remember them as heroes who sacrificed their lives so others could be safe. The National Peace Officers Memorial Run is recognized as a run to remember because it allows us to remember those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in service of their country and provide support to their families. Today is a testament to that they will not ever be forgotten. Thank you to the runners and organizers and for running to remember during this 460-kilometer trek and for keeping alive the memory of our fallen colleagues. On behalf of the RCMP, I would like to present the families of Constable Fabrice Georges Vaudin, Constable Dave Ross, and Constable Douglas James Lamarche, along with the RCMP Run team, a memento on behalf of the team of this special event. So you want to describe it? Describe what it is? Go ahead. So each runner wore the names of our 3 fallen officers during the run and are still up and are presenting this to the families along with the ball cap.
Thank you. Last and definitely not least, I would now like to call upon Aaron Uchakovsky, speaking on behalf of SOUL, Survivors of Law Enforcement.
Every year, a sea of police officers gather on Parliament Hill to honor our fallen heroes, to ensure that the magnitude of their sacrifice will never be forgotten. The last 460 kilometers was about the ones who cannot come home anymore, being greeted by their loved ones and cherishing the moments we take for granted every day. Survivors of Law Enforcement Canada would like you all to look to your right and now to your left. To us, you are the meaning of heroes. You are the reason for the saying, hero in life, not death. Thank you. Thank you for running. Thank you for grieving. Thank you for caring. And thank you for keeping our families and our heroes' memories alive. We will never forget you and what you have done for us. Remember, in everything you do, keep putting one foot in front of the other like we do every day. Thank you.
Thank you all for running for my daddy and all of the other fallen officers.
Thank you. We're now going to have a few presentations. I would like to call members of the Zivchik family. I don't believe they're up in the pavilion, but if they could come up to the pavilion, that would be appreciated. The following presentation will be done by the Chair of NPOMR, Staff Superintendent Randy Patrick, Peel Regional Police, along with Inspector Jerry Cashman, Toronto Police Service, John Ling, Toronto Police Service. They will now make the presentation.
On behalf of the National Peace Officers Memorial Run, I just want to present the family with this plaque inscribed National Peace Officers Memorial Run to Remember, dedicated to the memory of John Sidgwick, Toronto Police. They are our heroes. We shall not forget them.
Thank you. I would now like to call upon Rachel Ross family. Presenting to Rachel Ross and family will once again be Staff Superintendent Randy Patrick from the Peel Regional Police, Assistant Commissioner James Malizia from the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, and James Cook from the RCMP.
We're just going to present similar plaques to each of the families, as well as donations that will go to the trust funds to help with the education of the children.
Thank you. I would now like to call upon Nadine Larch and her family. Presenting to Nadine Larch and her family will be Staff Superintendent Randy Patrick, along with Assistant Commissioner James Malizia and RCMP Constable James Cook. I would now like to call upon Angela Javaudin and her family. Presenting to Angela Javaudin and her family will be Staff Superintendent Randy Patrick, Assistant Commissioner James Malizia, and RCMP Constable James Cook. I would now like to call upon Sean Cody, founder and president of the Police and Peace Officers Memorial Ribbon Society, in partnership with the Kativik Regional Police Service, along with members of the Deary family for a presentation.
Hello, is there any members of the police service that are here? The Kativik? There we go.
Perfect. Hi, this is our 20th anniversary since we created the memorial ribbon. Everyone now recognizes it as the black and blue ribbon that we wear whenever an officer falls in the line of duty. This year we've officially become the national symbol. We partnered with the National Memorial Committee, and the ribbons now contain the pavilion that you see behind me as part of that symbol. We're going to be presenting a print to the family of Constable Steve Derry. In the print, you'll see the pavilion, and you'll see the shadows of officers that have lain the hats of those officers that have fallen in the line of duty. And within the pavilion, you'll see the spirits of all the officers returning that salute. The salute is the highest form of respect that you can pay to anyone. And in this case, it is the highest form of respect that you can pay for the ultimate sacrifice.
In closing, once again, I want to thank all the families, our dignitaries, special guests, runners, cyclists, and members of the public for coming out and showing their support for our fallen heroes. A lot of work goes into planning these events that lead the runners and the cyclists on their long journeys. They do it for their fallen brothers and sisters. They are our heroes. We will not forget them. A special thank goes out to the Ottawa Fire Department, who took the time to raise their flag this afternoon in front of the Ottawa Police Headquarters. Ladies and gentlemen, this closes our ceremony. We hope to see you in as big a number next year, and we wish to remind the runners that buses to return you to Brewer Park will be on Wellington Street. Thank you, and have a great afternoon.
Okay, so we started this trek on Thursday, September 25th in Toronto. 460 kilometers later, we ended up in Ottawa on Saturday. We finished our trek on Parliament Hill, where we paid respects to the 3 fallen RCMP officers and to the Toronto officer. They were all given these beautiful framed prints from the memorial service and from Blue Ribbon. It was amazing to see the families there, very touching for all the runners, and we had the riders there with us as well. Today we ended up in our #1 uniforms, where we do the National Peace Officers Memorial Service on Parliament Hill, where there's thousands of officers from all over, including the States, all over the world, that come to pay respects to the fallen officers. The most memorable is the running with the other members. So we put our patches and our ranks aside, and we run as one. We run as a unit, and it's something you can't explain unless you've experienced it. The journey was a good one. There was many legs that the officers ran. Some officers ran well over 100 kilometers over the 3 days. Some ran 30 to 40 kilometers. It's all personal for them, and you get to reflect while you're running on these officers that have paid the ultimate sacrifice.